TemhpahZone.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Wherever you're listening to this podcast right here, this is episode 84 of the TemhpahZone podcast with your host, me, Amir Max, and that's all facts. My special guest on the Zoom call with me today. Yo, look, if you are timid with your ears, he might shock you, but damn it, does this dude have bars and this stuff goes hard. That is undeniable. I still feel that if you like calmer music and you went into some of the stuff that my dudes drop in here, you would still like it because it's just something different. And I feel like in this hip-hop landscape, we need artists pushing the envelope and doing something different and getting you to think. My special guest in the building is TAHA. How you doing, my dog?
What's up, man? What's up, man? It's truly an honor to be here, man. Truly can't thank you enough, for real.
Hey, man, I appreciate you hitting me up, man. You know, one thing I'll definitely say is that this is just for any artist or anybody. If you're trying to contact somebody, don't just email them once if they don't get back to you. Send the second one, all right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because either way, I would have saw the first email, but definitely to all the artists out there, just anybody, you know, follow up, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like, so I definitely appreciate you hitting me up because I'm happy to have you on, man. But let's jump right into it, though, man. I just want to ask you about your musical influences growing up, because clearly with your sound, you know, it definitely seems like you have seems to be a wide range of music. So who are some artists you were listening to growing up?
That's a really good question. I feel like, the first, even just sonic ideas I was hearing was through just Pakistani music, really, because my mom would just be, cooking in the kitchen and she'd be playing it. So I would just be hearing all these, really, old, those old-ass music where you hear, the fucking vinyl and the shit, going crackling through it. It's, old shit, bro. Yeah. So, I would just be listening to that when I was a kid. And my mom would also, sing that to me as, a lullaby when I was a kid, too. So I feel like, because a lot of people say I incorporate that in my music, just kind of an ethnic tone to it. So, I feel like that's just such an influence. And I never even knew that was an influence until my friends brought it up. But I feel like, yeah, so Pakistani music, honestly, is such, really the first music I ever listened to. Mm-hmm. And then, but then
you born and raised in Pakistan, or were you just born there?
I was born there. I moved when I was so young because my parents were American Dream. And then, so they kind of went away. But
mm-hmm.
But I was really young. So I wasn't really fully raised there. But, I guess they brought the culture with them here in America. And then I was raised in a whole Muslim Pakistani community as well. So
do you feel
that's the first step?
Yeah, man, that's dope. That's dope. Do you feel that that has carried more so to your music nowadays? Or do you still feel like that influence kind of has dwindled away as the older you got? How do you feel that's been?
That's interesting. Okay, it's definitely it was a what's it called, a peaks and valley type of thing. Because at first I was as a kid, I was oh, I love this because every time I was because I'm nervous as a kid or whatever, I'd listen to that music, it would calm me down. But then I was raised in because then I moved to Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. We moved around a lot when I was younger. We were in Virginia, Rhode Island, a little bit in Connecticut, but we settled down in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, which is right next to Worcester. Mm-hmm. And it was a really white town. It's white, really white. And then very white town. And so
of course.
It's it was weird because I was there, right? So a lot of people would be pretty much they made me feel ashamed to be brown. So I was oh, in order to be, to assimilate, I was oh, fuck the brown music, fuck brown people, fuck everything. So I distanced myself from it. But then high school, I was wait, why am I accommodating these fucking losers? You feel me? And then I got back into my brown roots again, so it was a peak and then a valley type of thing. So
yeah, hey man, well that's, when the older you get, the more you realize that you can't run away from who you are. So when it comes to the styles and all that stuff, you can't run away from what you grew up with. So you got to embrace that stuff. And I think that's an amazing thing to see because, if you're just pretending to be other things, you're just copying. So it's up to
For
you
real.
to figure out what you are. And I definitely think it's translating well for you, man. You know, I mean, the intro I gave you, you know, I feel like the stuff that you're putting out, man, is just different. You know what I mean? That's needed in the game right now for sure.
Thank you, man. That means a lot, for real.
No, for sure, man, for sure. I mean, the visuals are crazy, yo. Like, if y'all listen to this after this episode, watch this man's music videos. All right, just off of that, like, it's crazy. Who does your music videos, by the way?
Shout out to Pierce.
God
Pierce.
damn.
Yeah, he's really amazing.
Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Pierce.
Yo, shout out to Pierce. Big up Pierce. If you got any of the musicians who need a music video, you could be like a ukulele player to a hip hop artist. If you just need a music video, this dude got you. Like, Pierce is the man. He really is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he definitely knocked out the park. Did you like help direct like the stuff that you were working on, or? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I came up with like the costume ideas. So like for people in the music video, that for like people listening, the music video is called Nightmares off my single Nightmares. And in the music video, I have all these outfits. Like there's one that's like just like chains all wrapped around me, kind of like swing set type chains, and that shit was heavy. That was like 80
man.
pounds.
What was like filming that scene? Jesus.
It was dude, I got lightheaded. I'd be like, yo, you gotta do this take quick. Like they'd be like, take number 5, and I was like, this has to be the last one.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm going to fucking pass out. Like it was so much. It was so bad.
Yo, man, yo, that's funny, man. Yo, it's the stuff that people don't see behind the scenes, man. I did a music video one time where I was sitting on like ice, and I had to sit on like this like literally like this like a whole frozen pond. It was literally a whole frozen pond. I was sitting on it, and dude, my ass was just so just ice cold after. So like, I feel you on that. Like, people don't see those behind the scenes with the videos, man. It can be a pain in the ass sometimes.
For real, yeah, for real. People sacrifice for the shots, man. They really do.
Yeah, man. But it's all worth it in the end. You know, you get that good product, so
for real,
it lasts for a lifetime. So it's worth it in my eyes. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Go through a little pain, but let's talk about the show you had with UMass for UMass Amherst, right? With Little Tecca and Pusha T. You opened up for them too.
Yeah.
How did that one come about, man? That is a dope thing you can add to your resume right there. How did that come about?
Yeah, that was such a experience.
So that crowd was there.
Yeah, they were there. There was a lot of people. It was like, I don't even know. And we'll get in the crowd, because the crowd, it was crazy what happened. Because I mean, so yeah, it was Lil Tecca, Pusha T, and I went before them as the opener. And it was interesting because the crowd was very different. Like, I think there was more Tecca fans than Pusha fans, because literally the minute Tecca was done,
oh no!
Like 2/3 of the audience left.
Shit.
It was crazy. Like, they were really there for Tecca. It was an interesting experience. So how it went about was, there was kind of like this, there's some third party organization called it was like Campvs, like CAMPVS, and they go to colleges and they like work with college talents, and they kind of build a competition. And they pretty much judged a bunch of artists, and they were like, okay, like, we're going to rate you and score you, and the one with the highest score gets to open up and get paid for it. So I know it was
That's
a lot.
Intense.
It was intense. Oh yeah, it was, and especially because like, look, like, you know, I was there, and I was like trying to be friendly. I was like, oh, what's up, guys? What's up? And a lot of these rappers were like, they were just like, what's up, man? What's up, man? You know, they were fucking like really trying to size me up. And then, but you know, I did my thing. I performed. I've been performing since like the 6th grade and things like theater and whatnot. And so like, I've just always had an act for the stage and just performance. So I was like, they said like I hit it out the park and shit. And so I won that. I beat the other rappers out. And yeah, I got to open up for Pusha T and Tecca. Very interesting experience. Very interesting.
Yeah, man.
It was just like, just very memorable. It wasn't like it was just like, even that small experience, I got to see so much, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why I wanted to ask you about it, because like, it might have been just a small performance, like in terms of like the time you were on the stage, but that's something you can always, let the people know that you did. Like, that's always going to be there. And on top of that, I think it's funny how you were the nicest one in the room and ended up winning the competition. Like these guys were definitely a little nervous. Like, and I think it definitely, you said you did theater?
I did. I will specifically. There's a thing called like. It sounds so nerdy. It's. I swear I'm not a fucking nerd. But like,
it's already. You already mentioned your theater. I don't know how much nerdy I can get. You know what I mean, man? Come on.
Facts. I might as well commit.
Yeah.
For real though. I gotta. That's so funny. Oh, but like, so there's this thing called like speech and debate, and it's like.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like I did the speech thing because debate things for fucking like debate motherfuckers. They just go about that shit differently.
It's different. Yeah,
it's different. You know what I mean? Like they'll be like trying to like slit your throat when they try talking and shit. But like speech is like more the theater aspect. So it was like kind of like you just take any medium and you perform it essentially. And under like a certain time limit, there was like competitions, national, nationwide, statewide. And so I did that all throughout like middle school to high school. It was just like a really important outlet for me because I was always angry as a kid. So I was just like, there's this avenue that like, that I could put all that energy into something,
Yeah, man. I definitely think when it comes to just hip hop in particular, rock music, punk music, there's just certain genres where like if you got like an anger problem or you have a little temper, like it's just a great outlet for it. You just get all that shit out there, man. You know what I mean? So I could definitely feel you on that, man. Do you think doing the speech and debate helped you writing? Because I feel like that must have assisted with your lyrics.
Definitely. I think it helped me with like articulation. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's the big, and even just like articulating my thoughts in a way. So I was just better able to organize what's in my head. Therefore, I can organize it in the paper, So just bring what's in my head into like a physical format. If that makes any sense.
No. I hear you on that, man. No, that's dope. I definitely think that's I never thought how like that type of outlet could help with rap, but at the end of the day, like anything that involves public speaking and talking, like you can definitely find a way to implement that into hip hop if you can do it. So I definitely feel you on that, man. But I want to ask you just about just your music career in general and just the things you've had to go through. Is there any struggles that you had to face in your career that you had to overcome? Because obviously in this game, not everything is roses. There's some bumps you have to get through. So is there anything that you can think of the top of your head that was like that in your career?
That's a great question. I think
it don't have to be so serious, but just anything.
Yeah. I think from the top of my head is just finding the right resources to make dope shit, right? Like Cause like let's even with mixing and mastering. Yeah. Like mixing for the first part, let's say mixing and mastering, it's such an expensive process. And if you don't know how to navigate that, you're gonna get fucked. Like I've so many times, and I feel like every artist has this story of like they try to get the song mixed and mastered and it comes out ass, or they go to someone, they mix and master it, and then like they're like, hey, I want revisions, and they never respond to them. And it was just like you really like. Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. And that came with videography too. Like, okay, I want to find a videographer that like isn't like $2,000, but also like doesn't make my shit look like a VHS camera, like
yeah. It's like, where's that guy at? Yeah.
Exactly. So I think what it taught me is finding the right people to build with, like finding the right producers. Like shout out to Sir Rowley. He's like the biggest producer I work with. He produced the majority of the album. I worked with in my last project too, Breath of the Phoenix, and this project Have Nightmares About Me. So that drops December 1st. He helped with the literally like 98% of the album, like production wise. So, and I just found him at a party. Like I just went to a party I didn't want to go to, and I just saw him and I talked to him. And so it's just finding and right people to build with. Even with the audio engineer, when I first worked with them, he was mixing rock music. He was mixing like other folk shit. And like, I was like, but I kept working with him because I saw something, and now he knows how to build my sound in such a way that I can't even, even think of a lot of the time. So I think that's the biggest thing, finding the right team.
Yeah, man. Hey, at the end of the day, like as artists, very, very few of us are able to make the beat, write the song, mix it, master it, make the cover for it, and put it out and market it the right way. Like no, like if you can find that one person who can do everything I just mentioned, hit him up. Let me talk to him, because I don't think it exists to do all that stuff. You need help, at least in some form or fashions, just to some extent. And definitely what you said with the audio engineer, man, like having the right audio engineer can change everything. I mean,
everything.
Because if you're working with a guy and you're a singer and they don't even know what Melodyne is,
Yeah.
like they've never heard of Melodyne, it's like, all right, now. It's like, all right, I don't even know how much I can even trust you, like, with the mix, because it's like, you didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I mean, I'm not saying there's any auto engineers who are like that. I've never dealt with any auto engineer who's never heard of Melodyne, but I'm just saying, like, as an example, you gotta just, find these people to come across. Sometimes it's just by chance. Sometimes you gotta look for it, but you gotta definitely find a team for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's very, very important. I want to definitely talk about the subject matter, the intensity of your songs, man. Like, just from off the top, I could tell you're coming in with no sugarcoating. You're just hitting them with it. Does that ever worry you when you just hit people with the deep topics that you do in your songs and hit them with those messages? Does it ever scare you at all?
Great fucking question. Because yeah, like it's sometimes I'd worry about that because I'm like, oh, maybe people might not like my music because it's so overwhelming. But I often forget, that I'm just an overwhelming person. Like I really am. Like I just feel things very intensely, and
I put it in the music.
Exactly. It's the only I couldn't do it if I wanted to make some fucking like. I don't even know, some fucking like, R&B ass shit, I could fucking like auto-tune my shit to the max. I can like, okay, let me look at Post Malone, let me copy this shit word for word and fucking like do that. Yeah. I could fucking do that shit, but then I'd fucking kill myself because that shit would fucking suck, bro. Like that shit would just fucking be the worst shit. I'd be like, oh my fucking
it's
God.
Not authentic from your heart, Yeah, it's not
real,
though. It's not what you feel. Yeah.
Exactly. That shit would just, and so it's like that's the biggest thing is like the reason why this music shit is so beautiful is my ability to be so vulnerable with it. And I think it is raw and it is necessary and it is different, So I feel like that's the thing that makes me, when I go on a stage and I'm able to move the way I move, it's because of that, So I think it's like at first there's sometimes where like marketing wise, I'm like, oh, how do I even market this? Because like there's, people have said my sound isn't something they've heard before. And also just like the raw nature of it as well. So it might be difficult to market it, but at the end of the day, it's just so worthwhile just for my well-being. So.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like, you're addressing mental illness, you're addressing Islamophobia. Like, those are some bold topics. Like, was it easy for you to address these things? Like, did it take time? Were you able to do this from the jump of your career, or was it this year you were like, all right, enough's enough, we're gonna just talk it like it is?
That's a good question. Yeah, I've always been making music like this. Like the first album I ever made, I had to delete that shit because it was ass, because I made it in like a fucking like laundry room. But like I was like, no one can find this. But like
recorded on Audacity. No,
for real, for real, that shit, bro.
Yeah, Audacity, the free
free trial shit, bro.
Yeah, like, man. Oh god.
But like I was always making music like this. I was always making like from the get-go because it's just the only way I know how to operate it, really, So because it's just like music is my therapy is my music. You feel me?
Yeah, man.
So it's just like that's I see it as such an outlet, in a world where like I fucking feel like my back was towards the fucking wall and people were coming at me, and like I was in a world where people were like, okay, you're not worthy, you're not, your voice shouldn't be heard. You should just bend over and listen to me. And I was like, well, fuck that. And so I just made a world. Like music is literally me constructing this world where I'm like, okay, I actually am worthy of something. Oh, I actually can like actually amount to something where that leaves me and my loved ones impressed, So I really think that just music was the fucking just biggest outlet for me to just like find myself and just grow as a human being.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, music can definitely just create that for you, and through music you can honestly figure stuff about yourself that you didn't even realize. I've heard so many people write songs And then after the fact, they realize that it has this message in it that they didn't even realize they put together. Like they're doing things I didn't even realize that, just constructing. And I really think that's honestly one of the most beautiful parts about music is that it really is therapy. We really can just get our shit off. We can let it out there. And for the most part, people just kind of have to accept it. If they don't like it, whatever, it's be really hard to offend people through music. Like you'd have to be saying some like really wild stuff, you know what I mean? And I don't really think that happens. That's the beauty of music though. You can express those things and it's all good. Like rappers talk, like they talk, they're so, boastful, but like a lot of times rappers are pretty humble when you talk to them. Like, so I think that's one of the cool things about rap. You can kind of just get some shit off that you can't really get off in any other genre. At least that's how I see it. So
no, definitely. Yeah.
I want to ask you though, man, about the hoodie. What's the logo on the hoodie?
Yo, this is shout out to Sickly. They make these hoodies where it's like these little faces, and it's just like they're like pockets. Like I think this one, like, yep, there's like a little pocket here.
Damn,
it's like yeah.
That's
cool,
like man. That's not your that's not your merch, right?
No.
That's same, man. I was like,
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, because I was looking, I was like, I've never seen that before. I was like, is that your merch, dude? I was like, plug that shit. I was like, man, that's some cool stuff right there, man. Okay, I was wondering, man. Shoot. Let's talk about the single Nightmares, man. What made you decide that was the single you're gonna lead with? Why that song? What would you say? Why did you say we're gonna lead with this song?
That's a good ass question. I feel like I thought of the album like even when I was finishing the last project, Breath of the Phoenix. I just thought of a project where I was like, okay, I have nightmares about me. Like I want to come in with this like aggression, but also like this sense of like destruction of myself. If I keep continuing with this amount of rage, I'm going to fall apart.
Yeah.
And so Nightmares, I just figures is just like, I guess I saw it as like because you see the cover of it, it's just like me with those chains again, and I saw it as like, okay, what is the best intro for this character? A character with like a bunch of fucking chains all around his fucking head. How do I introduce this? And I feel like Nightmares is just like the greatest, and it's like such a great intro. Also the outro of it, I just love that shit. Like I was just so fucking fun.
Yeah, like, man. Yeah.
That outro is fun as fuck, bro. Like I drop 100 in on OnlyFans. Like that shit is fucking like that shit is like
it's just so it just good. Oozes. You're oozing like personality in that song, man. I definitely feel that when it comes to music videos, a lot of the times people don't take the time to put the creativity to it. But along with that, a lot of people are just straight afraid to express themselves in the video. And I definitely feel from your stuff, you gotta take time with just coming up with the concepts. Do you spend a lot of time with coming up with your ideas for music videos, or would you say it comes easy to you?
I spend like maybe the central ideas might come a little easy. But I guess like planning every single thing out, like I definitely want to be like, very tactful with that. Just like very like, okay, how do I maneuver this specific thing? How does this thing relate to this scene, to that scene, to that scene? But I think overall themes kind of come fairly easy to me because I'm just like, okay, what's the progression of like my whole discography? Because I try to make some type of progression. Like Birth of the Phoenix was kind of just like this intro to my sound. Have Nightmares About Me is just like the aggression and anger. And I'm already planning like my third big one as well, which is going to be like very lighthearted, very like more melodic and just like a little more I guess emotions like just happier. Honestly, It's gonna be fucking happier, which is exciting because I just, I love the music I make, but like I won't lie, it is like it brings a sense of clarity because of the shit it tackles.
Yeah.
And that could just be a lot for people, but like I don't know. I guess I always try to. The central ideas of just kind of they come natural to me because I just see it as a progression of one thing to another. But with this music video. I really tried to be like, and same with Pierce, we both like sat down together and like, okay, how are we going to make all of these, like, how are we going to make these like just a fluid experience for the viewer, make everything connected in a way that just really speaks to the viewer. So
definitely, man, I feel, it's okay to, you're saying how like, the project after this, you're going to switch up the sound, switch up like a certain style to it. And I definitely think that's okay for artists to go from sound to sound with project to project, but those things have to come periodically. You got to do it smoothly because you can't just drop a happy song right now. You're on this.
Exactly.
You're on Have Nightmares About Me time. Like you're on.
Exactly.
This is the version that you're in. So you guys stick to that. Do you ever get nervous about your transition into a different sound? Because for me, I always find that to be a little nerve-wracking to like go from the project where everyone heard me doing the singing stuff to like me do rapping again. Like do you find that transition to be difficult?
No, I mean, I feel like with Breath of the Phoenix, my first project, that's what it gave me the leeway because it was half aggressive and half melodic in a way. It was just so I was like, okay, oh, he went full aggression here. And then the summer, I'm going to drop like a single of some other shit. And he'd be like, oh, it's more melodic here. And then Halloween comes, I might drop aggressive again. And then maybe, I think it's the way I came in.
Yeah.
I kind of already was like, okay, so this dude does a lot of shit. So we're going to be prepared to hear a lot of different type of shit from him. So I think I just was, cognizant of that, and so people know my sound consists of various styles. So I never really get too nervous. And at the end of the day, I'm like, honestly, if it's catchy as fuck, it's catchy as fuck. But one thing I do actually, you feel me? Like,
real shit, man. Like it's just good music. God damn it, take it. Like it's not like you're making like a country song and a punk song and an EDM song. Like the shit's still cohesive. Like it's still rap. It's still in that realm of genre. So it's not like you're doing anything out of there. So yeah,
100%. I guess one thing I do is like seasonal stuff. Like I always love dropping my shit with like I dropped this album in December, like during a time where it's fucking cold, where it's like minimal daylight. Like it's gonna do it. And then I drop happy shit in the summer where it's like, oh, we can fucking go to the beach and like I can fucking, smoke weed and I'm not gonna freeze my fingers off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, shit like that. I guess that's one thing I think.
Yeah, hey man, that's the stuff that you need to be focused on, because I've spoken to a lot of artists before, man. And from what I've heard, a lot of artists are more artists are focused on, all right, this is the sound I want to put out. This is what people expect from me, more than I'm a guy of variety. Let me do all that I can. Cause either way is fine. Like there's nothing wrong with, this is the sound I make. This is what you're going to get. Cause that's great. I like having an artist where I know when he drops the album, it's going to be that bump in the whip type music. Like, so that's always good, but it's always good to have a Childish Gambino in there. And it's always good to have, those chameleons of the games, like a Drake, like those guys are great. But I honestly, I'm just going to say it. I think there's less of those guys that have variety than guys that bring their own unique sound. That's just, But any way you can do it, there's nothing wrong with either way, man. So, but in terms of versatility, would you say that you listen to a lot of different genres growing up? Because I can definitely tell that, with everything that you're doing, it seems like you take from a lot of places. Do you think, is it just hip hop, or do you listen to like other stuff outside of that?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of shit. I mean, specifically like now my favorite rappers, I guess, when I was first getting into rap, it was Wu-Tang, just like Wu-Tang. I was like, wow, I just never, because Wu-Tang just taught me, it's like, oh, you can say fuck you to those who say fuck you, Yeah. And I just never knew that I was like, oh, these people bullying me, I can actually fight back. Word, I never knew that. Like, so it was just like, it was just so fucking like great to see that. So with rap, there's rappers I love, like JPEG Mafia is one of my favorite rappers. Slow Tie, big fan of him. Injury Reserve. I'm a big fan of Gene Dawson. Is this new artist. He's more of a R&B-ish type of artist, but I've been really feeling him. And then there's like I love electronic music a lot because I was raised on video games, so like you hear all those like booby bop shit.
Oh yeah, very electronic. Oh yeah, for certain, man. Yeah.
So I was raised on that, so I love like electronic music as well. I love synthesizers. I'm like learning synthesis right now. So I think honestly in a way is just carrying a lot from stuff in my childhood. Like I heard video games all the time, so I love synths. I love world music, like especially like Desi, South Asian music, because I heard that from a kid. So I think honestly, it's really just like clinging on to those moments that made me feel safe, really.
Yeah, man, that's dope. No matter what genre you're in, you gotta definitely just take from wherever you can. It doesn't even have to just be from music. It could just be like a concept, an idea from a movie. Like you just gotta Be influenced by everything, man. You can't put yourself in a box, because I feel like that's when you just end up doing the same stuff. So I definitely,
100%.
I definitely see it like that, man. Let's talk about the project though. Have Nightmares About Me. It's dropping December 1st.
That's it. Yep.
December 1st, man. Let's talk about that. What should the people expect from this upcoming project, man? I think there's a lot to look forward to, but I want to hear from you, man. What should they expect?
All right. So it's only 16 minutes long. That's like, it's not that, it's 5 tracks. It's just 16 minutes, boom, in and out. I don't waste a single second of anyone's time. I say my shit and then I leave. Every song does play through a central theme, but every song has its own varied production. So there's, a lot of sample based. There's one song that literally does sound like a Western-y type of film, like landscape or soundscape to it.
Okay.
I actually released it November 13th. It was my song, a song called Big Shot. So people can check that out, because I generally think that's the best song I've ever made. So Big Shot is one of the songs with like just like this weird but very unique and captivating soundscape that's like a reflective of just kind of like Westerns, old Western movies. Like it sounds like a showdown. There's experimental production, a lot of that just from like the video game music I loved. And there's some rock influence as well, especially with the song No Color. So they can expect a very intense, but I think an experience that does lead to a lot of clarity. And for those who've been struggling, I believe a sense of peace as well.
Yeah, man. I feel that, man. Just from, what I was hearing with just everything I heard from you, man, I could just definitely tell that you talking real shit on this project, man. So I definitely feel, just even with the title, like, I just feel like you got to check this project out. You know what I mean? Do you think this is something that like you like may never do again? Do you think this is like a one-time thing for you? Or you think like just you're gonna roll with it and see how it goes? Just gonna put it out and just see how it goes from there.
I would love to do like, I mean, because I guess in a way it's a very spooky themed album.
Yeah, because that's why I said that. Because like it seems, it seems like you're really turning it up a notch with that type of stuff. So that's why I asked. Yeah.
I'm already like, I definitely like every Halloween I would love to drop like at least like a 2-pack, like at least one single, if not like a small little pack. Like every Halloween I really want to do that and like make like, I just love horror shit. Like I just love that. It's just very captivating to me. I love horror movies. I love horror video games so much. Something about being scared is just super fucking fun, bro. Like,
yeah, I could never. Funny that you mentioned horror video games. I love horror movies, but the horror video game. Like, I remember, like as a kid, like I couldn't play Resident Evil, bro. The game was scared the shit out of me, bro.
Oh, it's terrifying, bro. I played that. I couldn't
do it as a kid.
As a kid, it's terrifying. Even as a grown ass adult.
Yeah, even as an adult, I'd be kind of scared, you know.
I was like, fuck, because you got to play it right. I'd be playing it in the dark with the headphones. I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, you know what I mean? Like that shit. But yeah, no, I'd love to keep like again, like I said, like I like pairing it with the seasons because I just love doing that. But
that's
every
smart,
Halloween,
that's very smart. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that though. Every Halloween, yeah, some shit.
Yeah, hey man, nothing will ever that will always work when you plan your music based on the time. Like people out here drop a song in March because they know it's gonna trickle into the summer. They drop the song in August because they know it's gonna trickle in. So you gotta be wary of those things. And I definitely think it's good that you're on top of that, man. You gotta be attention to detail. It's an extremely important thing, man. You know what I mean? So you gotta definitely have that on them. But I want to ask you though, man. You brought it up. What's your favorite horror movie?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You said you love horror, so I gotta ask you, man. What's your favorite horror movie?
My favorite horror movie. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if this is my favorite.
Or like a series, a franchise, because
yeah. I'm trying to. I got one in my head already. I'm trying to find other ones. I loved Hereditary. I really loved Hereditary.
That was the last horror movie I saw. That shit was crazy, bro.
That shit was so good.
Yeah.
It's such a mind fuck. And it's like, yeah, that shit was fire.
It plays way too real reality though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's the part about that movie. It just seemed a little too real.
For real though. That shit crazy. That shit honestly is crazy. It Follows is a good one. I watched that recently with my girlfriend. And a couple
It Follows?
It Follows, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna
that was
check
crazy
that one
too.
out.
Yeah, it's a very interesting movie. I just really like the style to it. And I don't know why I think Witch was one. Yeah,
Oh, The
Witch.
Witch, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
That's
I
another
really
one I gotta
enjoyed
check
that.
out.
Yeah, there was like um Night of the Hunter is a really crazy one too. That's like a black and white one too, I believe. Because I really know movies
Is
through my
that from
friend
back in
Jeremy.
the day? It's
Back
an
in the
old movie.
fucking
Oh,
day.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like black and white. It's just I love horror movies that don't fit that like stereotypical shit, and like
Yeah.
just like they have a sense of surrealness to them. I think that's my favorite ones. Like they
Hmm.
kind of that's when they bend the reality, and you're like, this is why it's even crazier. So The Innocence is also another really good one too that I watched recently, black and white as well. So, but yeah.
Damn, man. Yeah, I gotta check these out, man. Yeah, I it's funny. It's like growing up, I always was just big on like Michael Myers, man. I always something about Halloween was just so cool to me. But like the older I got, I still love it. But I look back on, I was like, man, like this whole franchise was just like this did not like. I just like some of the movies didn't age well. You know what I mean? Some of
Yeah,
it's
that's
just not.
valid. That's valid.
Just my opinion. I don't know, but I
No,
still
I
love
agree.
it though. It's still like it's
Yeah.
just cool. Yeah. So I always still like that stuff, man.
Mm.
But yo, man. So I asked you your favorite movie. I want to ask you, who are your favorite artists at the moment? I know you were mentioning JPEG
Yeah,
Mafia and Slow Tie. Who are some other artists that you're messing with right now?
that's a good question. I love Run the Jewels a lot.
Oh yeah,
I
man. Run the
really love
Jewels.
Run the
Yeah,
Jewels
Run the
so
Jewels is
much.
good. Yeah, they're another one that pays attention to detail. You know,
For real.
every cover is the same logo but different. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a pay attention to detail. Yeah, they're
For
really
real.
dope, man. Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
I
like Run
really
the
like them.
Jewels. Let me just say my bad.
No. I was just echoing what you're saying. I just really fuck with them heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Now Run the Jewels is it's just one of those duos that I just feel like reminds you that like lyricism matters. Like rapping your ass off still matters, and I feel like that type of style I feel like is starting to be kind of forgotten about somewhat.
Mm. Yeah.
Melodic rap is taking over, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like melodic rap, but
Mm.
Run the Jewels definitely reminds the people like spitting that shit still matters. You know what I mean? So I
Mm.
definitely mess with that, man. I definitely
No,
listen to more
100%.
JPEG Mafia, man. I gotta be honest with you. I haven't heard a lot of them, but I know,
Mm.
like they're very. He's very experimental, not they. He's very experimental. So yeah, I gotta definitely check that out, man.
I think Veteran's a good like everyone really enjoyed Veteran. It's some hard shit there too, but it's just like different.
Yeah, that's all I've
You
heard
know.
about him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I really like the soundscapes he creates, and just like the unapologetic nature, because that's what I love about my music. I feel like it's very unapologetic. So, and that's always how I wanted to move in life. So, I just really like the way he moves with his music, and even just as a person as well. It's just very inspiring.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's different, man, and he's created his own lane, and I think that's what all of us artists should aspire to. You don't got to sound like the mainstream artist. Like, what the hell? Sound like you, do you? Like, there is the audience for it. And like, if JPEG Mafia ain't taught you that, if Brockhampton didn't teach you that, like,
Mm,
if Slow Tie didn't teach you that, I don't know
yeah.
what will. Because like, everyone's just trying to make that popping sound. It's like, just do the sound you like the most. Because not everybody out here likes that pop sound. I'm not convinced like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with the
Yeah.
pop sound, but like, let's be real here. People, want to make what they want to make, and it is what it is. So,
100%.
yeah, man. But yeah, Taha, I'm happy to have you on the show, man. Is there anything else you want to plug for the people before we get out of here?
Yo, my name is Taha. Again, check out my project. I have Nightmares About Me is dropping December 1st. If you want to get a good sneak peek on it, follow me on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Tidal if you're bougie. Just like go to that shit. Like my two singles, Big Shot and Nightmares, are out right now. I promise you, like they are unique pieces of art that really bring I think, a much needed perspective into this hip hop industry, and I really do think that they would leave people very satisfied. So go check that out. I promise you'll fuck with them, and then I promise if you fuck with them, you'll fuck with that project that drops December 1st.
Yo, man, I'm looking for that project, man. For real. Taha, thank you very much for being on the TemhpahZone podcast. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man. The pleasure was all mine, for real.
For sure. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 84 of the TemhpahZone podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to tune in next week for another one, all right? Peace out.